All right, so here we go. We have the title, I Hate Wild Magic. I hate wild magic. All caps. I hate wild magic. I really hate wild magic. And that's the voice I imagine in my head of the person who wrote this.
Oh, you are too judgmental to this person already.
Yeah, I disagree, but I'm not as judgmental as you are about this yet.
Well, John, if you would like to read it in the voice that you imagine this person having, perhaps.
No, that's probably a great voice. I just don't agree with what they're saying. Not you. I don't agree with I hate wild magic. I love wild magic.
And they definitely repeated it 4 times.
So they really hate it.
So here we go. I don't really hate wild magic, but what I do hate is DM homebrew wild magic tables and settings that turn every caster into a wild mage.
Oh, so relatable, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. Who's making wild magic tables for random wizards?
No, definitely not Magic the Gathering cards.
Yeah.
No.
You'd have to be unhinged.
It is insane.
Insane in the membrane. So I'll keep the party composition short, but the dungeons are all in this magic weirdification area. Every time anyone casts a spell, there's a roughly 50% chance of it going wildly haywire. Caps lock bonkers haywire.
Okay, 50% is way too much, okay.
Yes, I agree. So it's like I took 160 damage from the side effect of 2 spells, a level 5 and a level 2, neither of which were even pointed at.
That's nuts. A level 5 and a level 2.
Yo.
160 damage.
This is TPK.
You're not even rolling death saves. You're like incinerated with that kind of damage. At this point, I've basically resolved to not even bother attacking again. My actions don't matter. The actual spells being cast don't matter. No player action matters. The wild magic table is the only thing that matters. We've had like one major combat that wasn't immediately decided by random magic one way or another.
This is even more unhinged to the...
That's rough. Now I've already flipped. I know why they say I hate it 4 times, because this is being used completely wrong.
Yeah.
After that battle, I think I would call it a day and never come back.
Yeah, I mean, you've just taken all of your spellcasters and you've told them just stab things with your dagger.
That's a pretty good analogy, actually. I thought the designers of this module must be insane. But in short, none of this nonsense is actually in the module. I checked after this last time. Luckily, next time, we've been given an opportunity to just, all caps, turn off that effect. And I'm hoping we get to do it. Once that happens, I'm hoping we get to do some major combat shit. But we shall fucking see. Excuse my French, but that's exactly what's written. Yeah. TLDR, your wacky homebrew wild magic tables suck, actually.
I mean, you got to be 15th level or higher for 160 hit points to even be manageable for your tanks.
But I don't think that it refers to them. This damage goes to mobs.
No, it goes to them too. It's wild magic. So wild magic can go against you, anybody. It could be area of effect. So it could be both good guys and bad guys. It can be anybody. It's wild magic. So first of all, 50% is way too often for that to happen.
Yeah.
So maybe it's 20 or 30% and you get a really wild, chaotic burst out of it to make people think twice before using a big spell. And there has to be a way to shut it off, which it sounds like there is maybe, but only after they complained. Did he agree to next session you can find a way to shut it off kind of thing?
They decided to turn it off.
Yeah, I don't think he specified in that post, but
he said something about that the DM told them something about like next session there's a way to turn it off, and then they could do a big full-blown combat.
The best way to turn it off will be please turn it off.
DM.
Yeah, DM, please.
Your Majesty. Or just, a fist to the face. DM. I don't know where I was going. It was like, you can threaten the DM. Hey, John, that's something you don't have to deal with as a DM. You never get threatened physically because luckily you play online.
I just retaliate in other games.
Oh, that's fair. Can I tell you about my BONER story? And it wasn't me DMing.
Yes. Go ahead.
This was a couple years ago. I was a mere player in a campaign incidentally held at my house where my wife was walking around, and you'll understand why that's kind of relevant later. But yeah, large group of people. We're all, we all played together. This isn't our first rodeo together. Everyone knew each other. The DM is very experienced. She knew the rules really well. I would say almost semi-professional. She runs other games and stuff. But there's never any question that like we would have any romantic connection, because she like respects the fact that I'm married and like I've been married for many years,
quote
unquote. But I always felt like, in the back of your mind, like, and she's never even said anything or made any moves, so I could never like actually say for certainty. But you just sometimes you get a feeling, just from the way people act, and just I don't know, it's just some kind of some background feeling. I was like, maybe she has a little cute crush on me. Not that she would do anything about it, and she was very. And now the interesting thing about her, she was very like a quiet, shy type person. Wasn't really good about making conversation out of the game, but in game she was like a monster in a good way. She would like do all the different voices of her different characters. So she was a very good DM. And so this is all
noticed
background.
that girls very often are really good in role playing.
I've got a group of all guys that didn't know each other at all before they started playing together, and they're role playing beasts. Like, they're always in character. I think they're in character when we're not playing.
Oh, that's scary.
They might be.
Was she hot?
We
No
all want to
comment.
know.
That's a yes.
No, that's a no. It's
Oh shit.
yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Or his wife standing behind her.
No,
and
she's
we
not
can't
here.
see.
No. No, she wouldn't
That's
care.
what I
She would,
thought.
but no.
Okay.
I'm sure she knows about this. It happened in your
She was
house.
there. She
Yeah.
was there. And she just literally couldn't handle it. So she went into another room.
Too
All right,
much
finish it.
spoilers. Too much
No
spoilers.
spoilers. You're
Okay.
You're getting the spoiler.
So we're in the story, or in the campaign. We're walking around some village. She's playing, of course, all the NPCs. Most notable is the mayor. Of course, it's all appropriate because this is all in game, right? This is not outside the game. This is all in the D&D game. The mayor has a crush on my character, who happened to be Trey LeMay, the rogue. By the way, Trey LeMay is my go-to name when I can't think of anyone, since I was 13 years old. And it's spelled lame, but there's an accent on the E. So she's like, "Hey, Trey." And she does this like hair flip every time she meets my character. I was like, "Oh, hey, Mayor." And then, of course, just coincidentally, the story revolved around the fact that there was something that the mayor was hiding in her house that we had and maybe there was also a while ago, maybe there's also some information that I had to get from the mayor, something that was central to us solving. There was a mystery going on in the village. So for us solving the mystery, the mayor was somehow involved. She wasn't a bad guy, but she was like, she had some key info and maybe some item that we need to get. And of course, just the fact that she was really like, of course, like, she rolled like, "Oh yeah, the mayor is really like open to talking to you." Maybe I rolled a charisma, again being the rogue. It was like, yeah, I'm going along with it. Yeah, okay, I'm really nice, and I wink at the mayor because she's smiling at me. And then it turned to this whole thing. Maybe it was one wink too many, and it turned to this thing where she made it like more clear that the mayor just wanted to, she was DTF. Let's just put it that way.
What stands behind those letters?
Yeah, I don't know, John. What does that stand for?
Down
DTF.
to get busy.
F for fade to black. Okay.
Down to fade to
Alright.
black.
Okay.
And it was just more and more clear, and it got to the point where like, okay, so we all agree, like with me and the party, like, okay, there's this one night that we're they're gonna do like reconnaissance and do other things, and I'm gonna play the role that's suiting, in this case that she has the hots for me already, so I'm gonna go do a little flirty with the mayor, maybe have a drink with her, ask her some questions about what I need to know, and then, get out. So it doesn't really, so of
Didn't
course
happen, right?
she invites me in for a nightcap, as the story goes. And we were having a lovely conversation. So she's just like, "So Trey, tell me." And like, so the stories, the questions would be going way beyond like what she would need to know or what she would need to ask as this NPC. She's like, "Yeah, tell me about your childhood. Like, what are your hopes and dreams? And like, so tell me, like, I don't know if you were like, I don't know, it's like really weird, corny questions. Like, what's the idea of your perfect date? And what's like the most romantic thing you've ever..."
This is not flirting. This is straight up flirting. When you joke and give some cues, this is straight up.
Flirting
asserting
is subtle. This is aggressive.
It was, and then everyone, there's like silence, like everyone, it wasn't even like, how it is, John, sometimes you have like a little one-off, the party is split and everyone else kind of gets bored when you're just talking to the one player about what everyone was just like staring.
They were
no
riveted.
No one was checking their phones.
They're on the edge of their seats waiting to see.
And she was just so calm, like the cool cucumber. And again, because she was knowing the fact that she's very comfortable role playing everything, and she can flirt without end because it's all just part of it, part of the game that we agreed on, that we're playing, socially constructed game, whatever, the D&D game. So this continues, and all the while, the mayor keeps pouring Trey more drinks. And then, Trey, after like his third drink, I'm like, I'm good. She's like, no, I insist. She's like, if you want to keep talking, I would like you to have another. I don't know. And I felt like, I was like, okay. And then at this point, I have to, of course, roll constitution checks. And and she's getting Trey more drunk. And like, she's still, and I've asked her now, like, hey, so, at the last night when you were at this thing, what did you see at that, whatever information I needed? And she's like, oh, we'll discuss that later, Trey. Don't worry. We've got plenty of time to talk. But first, let me ask you. And then she's like, here, let me get you another drink. So basically she was putting off giving me the info that I wanted, and as a character, and just continuing to go super hardcore into me. Like, it's not wrong.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Shut up. So then, of course, one thing leads to another. She's like, well, Trey, there's one more thing. I need to show you my, thanks to it, my sewing collection. I have a lovely sock collection. But the thing about that, it's kind of on my bed because I was sewing and I just left it all there. So if you'll, follow me, I'll just show you my socks. I was like, okay, all right. Like, I see where this is going, but I'm already drunk by now. Like,
for how long has it been going in real time?
Oh, good question. This is probably, I don't know, 15 minutes.
Oh, that's a hell of a role play.
She was asking me a lot of questions, and like, no one had any choice because she was the DM. Like, what are we gonna do? We're going along. It's her story, and we know we need to get this information. And she's like, it's like a fishing pole with like the worm. She's like on the hook. She's like, she knows that I need it. Okay, out of game, she knows, like, because she's the DM, that in game she's just like playing coy. She's like, oh no, let's not rush that. Let's just have another drink and tell me about your childhood and just like stupid shit. And like in the beginning, I was enjoying it because it was fun. Yeah, so she invites me to the room, and then she just like closes the door, gets super aggressive. She's like, do me now, Trey, do me, and I'll tell you whatever you want to know. Like, just super, in your face.
How many people were on the table at the table?
I would say about five players, including myself.
Damn, you guys.
Yeah, man.
Gather up a lot of players in your game.
So, what did you roll on your performance check? That's what I want to know.
And STD.
I had to roll for boner, and
no, for real.
Yeah, she literally used those words, roll for boner. And this is like a quiet, shy, like very nice, gentle girl who would never she walks down the street to like look down to look at her shoes. She's like that kind of girl. Yeah. But in the game, she was like, I told you, she's like a dragon. I was like, okay, I don't know, but I got like a 7. She's like, you're only half mast, but it's good enough. I'll take it. Let's go. And she was like literally living out her fantasy on my game, at my game table.
I personally think that this mayor was the BBEG.
I think she was too, looking back on it, because she turned into like, maybe she was one of those, what are the dragons? No, dragons actually can turn into people, right? They can take
some of them have magical abilities and can polymorph into a human shape or whatever.
I rolled for boner or whatever, and then I was like, okay, and then like, we do some stuff, and then, okay, you're gonna tell me the information. She's like, whoa. She's like, let's not rush this. Let's describe exactly what you're gonna do to the mayor, and that roll performance, and that will determine like how open she is to. I'm like, what have I been rolling this whole time? Like my whole like disposition of my childhood and my perfect dates, and that's not good enough for her. No,
you had like a whole 10-round combat for this.
Yeah, it was something
roll
like
for
that.
Initiative.
Did you roll though?
Of course. I mean, I gotta listen to the DM.
Okay, so you described everything you done to her. You did not pay the plague?
No. I tried to be like, okay, we kind of do some. I said something very vague, like we do some stuff, or we hook up, or we get down to business, something like that. And she's like, that's not good enough. It was just like, and at this point, my wife, she's just like, this is enough for me. She just went into the other room, closed the door. She's like, I can't. No, because she was actually laughing. She was just like trying so hard because she's not like worried about, it was just more like so ridiculous that it was.
Plus, she rolled a 7, so she knew you weren't even into it.
Right. That was proof right there. It was just going along, just for the campaign. So yeah.
What kind of campaign was this? Like, what was the information? Did you ever get it?
It was a mystery. There was some like murders in the village. You know, this was over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. So I don't remember the exact details, but I feel like I got like, it was more just out of pity and just kind of like pressure from everyone else, like staring at her, be like, okay, you put him through all that and you're still not going to give him what he wants. So I think she's just like, yeah, okay. Then she mumbles, you know, you're having your pillow talk afterwards. And then she kind of tells you what you want to know. I was like, okay, finally. Yeah, but she wanted me to go into detail. She wanted me like play by play, like where are you touching the mare? You know, where do you kiss her? And she probably wanted to file this all away in her head.
Was she recording on her phone or something?
She very well might have been. You know, it's actually a really good question. I have no idea, but that's my story.
I wouldn't want to be at that table. That's uncomfortable for everybody else, don't you think, Alex?
I would laugh my ass off. I would fucking enjoy it. Every bit.
Yeah, I would probably have left the room at some point. I would have laughed at first.
Right.
At some point, I'm like, okay, you guys finish this up alone. You don't need us for this.
Now that you mention it, I think like a couple people actually towards the end of like after the roll for boner part, and then they're just like, oh, I'm kind of hungry. It's like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh, you know what? I have a phone
and
call.
Everybody disappears.
Yeah, it's like, my wife is gone. It's just me.
This has become a solo adventure.
At some point, DM should ask others to leave. Because like, don't you need something else also in the kitchen?
Yeah, we need another bag of chips, I think, and it's like down the street. If you don't
This session is over for the rest of you losers. Get out.
The following information is too confidential.
Come back next time. Be ready to never speak of this again. It's a great story. It's very awkward though.
Yeah, well, that's my life, especially with D&D.
Yeah.
I hope you get some more stories.
Invite her back so we can get another story.
In one of our games.
I'm pretty busy now with this really new podcast. It's awesome. It's called NAT Happens. These guys are so funny.